Hi everyone, welcome to another episode on Introductory Class to International Trade Masterclass. I'm sure you have your notes and I'm very sure that you remember what we learned last episode. We talked about methods of payments and we mentioned open account, cash in advance, bills for collection, letters of credit. And last episode, we discussed what open accounts is, what are the risks that they are exposed to, the participants. We also talk about cash in advance, the risk on the buyer, the risk on the seller, and how this risk can also be mitigated. Today, we are doing something else. We are going to other methods of payment. Before we proceed, do not forget to like, share, and press the notification bell so that you get notified of the next episode. Now, let's discuss bills for collection. What is bills for collection? It's a method of payment and it's actually adopted between parties that know themselves because it's like buying something on credit. It's not cash and carry. You are going to ship the goods and later get paid. Now, let's discuss. Under bills for collection, seller ships the goods to the buyer. So, if you have adopted bills for collection as a mode of payment, that means your seller will be shipping the goods to you before you pay. Now, seller will submit the shipping document, that's if by sea, for example, the bill of lading, the commercial invoice, the manufacturer certificate, and other document that may be required. The commercial invoice, the bill of exchange are the parts of the document that will be submitted. And the seller will take all these documents to his own bank to forward the document to the buyer's bank. Now, in this instance, we call the seller's bank the remitting bank. And the seller bank will be sending the document to the buyer's bank. And the buyer's bank is called the collecting bank or the presenting bank. Now, when the documents have been packaged, they will be sent to the collecting bank, and the collecting bank will prepare another document. In addition to the document that the seller has brought, they call the document bill history or collection order. What is bill history? It's a document that contains all the information about how the document should be handled and how the payment should be made. So on receiving the document by the collecting bank, the document are expected to be presented or released to the buyer. Now, before you release the document, there are conditions that are attached to it. Now, for every collection order, there are collection instructions. So, documents can be against acceptance. That means the collecting bank will present the bill of exchange to the importer for accepting. And except he accepts the terms, the documents are not expected to be released to the buyer. So the moment the bank is presenting the draft or bill of exchange to the buyer is called the presenting bank because it's actually presenting the bill of exchange to the buyer. And if the buyer has agreed to the term and has accepted the bill of exchange, the collecting bank is expected to also release the shipping document to the buyer. Now, if document is against promissory notes, that means the document from the remitting bank will not come with a bill of exchange. So it's expected that the buyer should write, that's committing to pay at the particular date that the remitting bank has stated on the bill history. For example, 30 days after bill of lading date. So the buyer will have to write promising to pay at that particular day. And upon submission of such promissory note, the collecting bank will not release that document. But if he agrees, writes, and he submits the same document to the bank will release the document, the shipping document, to the buyer. Now, the collection instruction can also be documents at sites or documents against payment. So what's documents against payment? It means that before the collecting bank releases the document to the buyer must pay. So it's not about tenure or acceptance of bill of exchange alone. You have to pay the sum of the value of the document before the collecting bank releases the document to you. Now, if you are able to pay as a buyer, then you have access to your documents. And the last one is documents free of payment. So maybe it's a sample that the seller is sending and it's not expected to be paid, or it's just a free item is sending. It can put it as delivered free of payment. So the collecting bank is not expecting you to make any payment or accept any bill of exchange. It's just to notify you, and you come and collect your document as the buyer. So those are the collection instructions that you may see on the bill history. I'll take it again. Documents against acceptance, documents against promissory note, documents against site, or documents against payment, or document deliver free of payment. So I'm very sure when you see this type of instruction, you understand what the seller is saying. Now, other important instruction that you need to look out for on a bill history. The collection order may request a bill of exchange to be avalized or noted. What does this mean? When you are asked to aval a bill or avalize a bill, that means you are guaranteed the payment. So as a collecting bank, if a remitting bank has stated on the collection order that you should avalize the bill, you'll not be sure that you want to guarantee payments. So please do not make that mistake by overlooking that instruction. You need to protect yourself if you are guaranteed the payment. And a bill of exchange can have notes written on it. That means you are expected to note the bill of exchange. These are terms that you must not ignore when you see them on the collection order. You must follow the instruction on the collection order to the letters. Another instruction on the collection order may be assignment of proceed, whereby the seller is telling you that, okay, you are not sending this money directly to us, you are actually sending it to another party different from the seller. For you to do that, you need to confirm from your seller that has actually consented to that arrangement. So collection order, you must pay attention to the instruction of the collection order before you release the document. Now, based on the collection instruction, the collecting bank releases the document to the importer to enable the importer to clear the goods at the port. There may be other regulation around this. This will actually depend on the country of the buyer or the seller. The collecting bank remits the proceed to the remitting bank once the importer has paid. So some will ask for interest, and it should be something that has been agreed between the seller and the buyer. But whatever the collection order says, the collecting bank is expected to adhere strictly to it. A collecting bank can also act as a presenting bank. I've also explained that. And a collecting bank acting as a presenting bank means that he is presenting the bill of exchange to the importer. Now, there are rules guiding this method of payments, and it's Uniform Rules for Collection 522. Uniform Rules for Collection 522. There are 26 articles in this guideline that is controlling and regulating this method of payment. Some of the articles are speaking to interest and expenses, charges. They are speaking to the delivery of the good. They are speaking to force majeure. All these things are well captured in this guideline to ensure that the parties are protected. Now, let me talk about the force majeure. In 2020, the world experienced global pandemic, that's COVID-19, and there were some document transactions that were in the pipeline. In this instance, it's not the fault of the importer or his bank for not performing the payment or paying at due date, but because of circumstances that are beyond them. So these articles actually addresses all these issues relating to force majeure. Thank you very much. I'm sure today you have learned something new. And honestly, if you want to use BIS for collection, you definitely know what to do. You know where your exposure is, and you know how to protect it. But before we go, I would like to also show you the flow chart of BIS for collection. So you can look at it on the screen. when the exporter and the importer agree by presentation of a sales contract to show that the terms and conditions are acceptable to you. And once the sale contract has been concluded, the next thing is the pro forma invoice, and the exporter will ship the goods, which is arrow number 2. And if you look at arrow number 3, the exporter is sending the document to the remitting bank after shipping the goods, which is arrow number 2. And from arrow number 3, you see 4 going to the collecting bank. That means the remitting bank is sending the document to the collecting bank. Arrow number 4 is showing that the collecting bank is sending the document to the drawee. Very simple and very straightforward. So that will be all on this episode. Thank you very much. Once again, do not forget to like, to share, and the notification bell. Thank you.